Welcome friends to another r/AmITheJerk video. Would it be too much of me to ask if you guys could hit those like and subscribe buttons down below? That said, our first story of the day is by Stolen Recipe Throw. Am I the jerk for stealing my friend's family recipe? I, 27-year-old female, have a friend Sam, 34-year-old female. She sometimes hosts dinner parties that are really just our friend group going over to her place to eat. Sam started doing this around Thanksgiving last year, and at the beginning, she was a tad unorganized. This led to her being frazzled and rushed, and generally not fun to be around for like half the night. Now, I like to cook, so after the first couple get-togethers, I offered to help Sam in the kitchen to get things ready. She accepted, and things started to go smoother. She wouldn't let me do anything major because she still wanted it to be her party. So when I would come over a bit early, it was usually to help with things like processing ingredients, stirring, and cleaning. Smaller stuff that let Sam free up her hands. After she got a better handle on how to prepare for her parties, she didn't need my help anymore and told me I could stop. She's been doing everything alone since. One time when I was helping, Sam decided to make her family's secret recipe. It's a chicken casserole. She said that she only made it once or twice a year, always around the holidays because it was special. I thought it was good and wanted to try making it myself. Because I was helping Sam out with the side dishes when she made it, and because I have a really good memory, it was pretty easy for me to reconstruct the recipe. I made it for myself a few times, and after tweaking it a bit, I was satisfied that I'd gotten it right. I had my sister, 33-year-old female, and her family over for dinner a couple of weeks ago, and decided to make the chicken casserole. Everyone loved it, and my sister asked me about the recipe. I told her where I learned it and gave her the recipe. Word somehow worked its way back to Sam, and she was pissed. She called me, yelling about how I'd stolen her family's secret recipe. I told her it's just chicken casserole and not worth screaming at me for, but she just called me a word that rhymes with bunt, and then disinvited me from all future dinner parties. Obviously, the rest of our friends found out and they're split. Some agree with me and say it's just a recipe for chicken casserole and not worth being upset about. It's not like Sam's run a restaurant or patented the recipe, and now after stealing it, I'm using it to make money or directly compete with her for business. I just like it, so I make it for myself. It's nobody's business but my own. The rest of our friends say I'm a jerk because the recipe wasn't mine and that it was special to Sam. I shouldn't have learned it without permission, and I should stop making it now. I told them that was stupid and that I wasn't doing that, and now they're mad at me too. I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say that this is going to be something that people are very split on. To me personally, if I had some food and it was amazing and I kind of saw how to make it, I probably would want to make it for myself as well and maybe even share that with my relatives. It really comes down to how you feel about recipes and stealing them. Like, because this chicken casserole and the way they made it is so special to them, should that be off limits to anybody else that wants to possibly recreate that recipe? I guess going behind their back is the kind of weird thing, but honestly to me, I don't think OP really did anything that bad. To me, it seems like gatekeeping a chicken casserole recipe because it has extra meaning to you. What do you guys think? Is OP a jerk for doing what they did? Should OP not make that chicken casserole or share it with anybody? Let me know in the comments down below. Our next story is by Big Bra 1223. Am I the jerk for kicking my parents out of my brother's birthday and refusing to give up my siblings? I, 25-year-old male, live in a house of mine with my little siblings, 15-year-old male, 12-year-old female, 11-year-old male. My parents, 44-year-old male and 43-year-old female, got divorced 3 years ago. My father left to be with his lover. A month later, my mom showed up in my house, it's an inheritance, to ask me if I can have the kids for 2 days or 3 until she settled down because she was moving to her boyfriend's house. Well, it's been 3 years now, and all my siblings get from them is a visit once a week. They pay a child support. Doesn't help that much, but I haven't taken them to court. 2 weeks ago, my brother turned 15 and I hosted a party. My parents' help was to buy the cake and the sodas, and I invited them because, after all, they're still their parents, but I specified on the invitation that I didn't want to see their spouses because I simply don't like them. Anyway, they came with their spouses and stepchildren. I didn't say anything because I didn't want to make a scene. After all, it wasn't my birthday, and if my bro was okay with it, I was too. everything freaked up at the family photo. I said I wanted a picture of me and my siblings together. My parents couldn't help in making it about them. My mom requested that her stepson should be in the picture too because he's also family, and my dad said that his stepdaughter should be there too, and also his wife because she's carrying a baby. I got shocked because of those random and nonsense comments, so I just couldn't keep it in and told them that they were selfish, irresponsible, narcissistic, terrible parents, and their requests were out of the question since those kids, I have nothing against them, are not our family and will never be. I also told my dad he should have a vasectomy and not be allowed to have more kids. I screamed, "And if you think I'll raise these too, you're wrong." My mom started crying, calling me rude. My dad's wife cried too, so I kicked them out. My siblings told them to go, so they both accused me of turning my siblings against them and were trying to take them by force, but they refused. Now my mom and dad said they'll go to court to have custody back because I'm a bad example of disrespect and irreverence. In my country, the legislation allows my siblings to decide who they want to live with, and they say they'll pick me. My grandma, father's mother, said I shouldn't have restrained my parents' authority over my siblings, and it's not my job to take care of them, and I should give them up to let my parents be responsible again. My father's brother said that I was the jerk for making my mom and a pregnant woman cry. So, am I the jerk here? I think OP's not the jerk. Obviously, things were very tense, and obviously OP and their siblings probably feel rejected or abandoned. And it's really sad to see the parents try to use the kids as like a pawn in some bigger game, like as a way to try to get back at OP for understandably being mad at those parents. This next story is by Chupacabra Throw RA. Am I the jerk, 20-year-old male, for teaching my niece, 4-year-old female, to say El Chupacabra when her mom, 32-year-old female, says, "You know what really gets my goat?" My sister has a habit of saying, "You know what really gets my goat?" She probably says it 7 or 8 times a day. So, like that Tumblr post, I taught my niece to say El Chupacabra when her mom says it. It sounds more like as Supacaba though because she's 4, but it's adorable. I told my niece it was a monster from Mexico that eats goats, and she didn't seem scared or anything, probably because the only monster she knows is Cookie Monster. But apparently now my niece walks around the house saying El Chupacabra all day. And now my sister and brother-in-law are mad at me for teaching her this, but in my opinion, it's kind of adorable and also harmless. But like, she's my sister's kid, so I don't know. Listen, if they're parents of a 4-year-old and they're getting upset that their 4-year-old's going around the house yelling things, then they've got a lot to learn about being a parent. It could be a lot worse than your kid going around yelling "Supacaba" all day. This next story is by AITA Lunch Notes. Am I the jerk for saying it's a little embarrassing that a girl's nanny puts little notes in her lunch? So this girl, Nicole, 16, started going to my, 16-year-old female, school after winter break. She's a little weird, to be honest. She doesn't talk a lot, and when she does talk, she's so quiet that you can barely hear her. She used to eat in her car, but one of my friends felt bad for her and invited her to eat with us. I noticed that all of her lunches had a little piece of paper and she'd read it, smile for like 2 seconds, then fold it up and put it in a pocket in her lunchbox. Sometimes she'd take it out and read it a couple of times during lunch. I eventually asked what it is, and she said she has a nanny and she writes her notes every day. I asked if she thinks that's a little embarrassing because I don't know anyone who's had notes in their lunches past 5th grade. She kinda got defensive and said that her nanny does similar things for her siblings, who are all in preschool or elementary school, so it kinda proved my point. She started eating in her car again, and one of my friends got mad at me because apparently she had a really bad home life before moving here, and she's never had anyone do that stuff for her. I don't know how the freak she expected me to know, considering she usually only talks about school, but it's starting some drama in my friend group. So I wanted to know if I was the jerk. I'm willing to bet a lot of people might be kind of mean or rough in explaining that OP is a jerk in this situation. I'm gonna chalk this one up to OP just being young and not really seeing the bigger picture. Oh, you like something that's commonly liked by young kids? That's not very cool. Like if anybody who's 16 liked Blue's Clues or some kind of somewhat kiddie cartoon, it seems OP's kind of in that field of like, why would you ever watch that? Don't you think that's kind of weird? I think OP's the jerk. Frankly, it's just a nanny doing something nice, just writing a nice note for somebody. Nobody should feel ashamed for having an affectionate little note in their lunch every day, from their parent, from their nanny, from their sibling, whoever. Maybe OP just feels awkward dealing with that kind of affection and kind of pushes that onto others by saying that it's weird. Our next story is by BlazerLaser1. Am I the jerk for requesting my date pay me back because she lied? So about 4 months ago, my 26-year-old male friend invited me to come over and watch a game. While there, my friend's girlfriend invited over her friend named Morgan, 27-year-old female. Me and Morgan had an immediate connection. She was really cute and had a good personality, so I was interested. I asked my friend's girlfriend to set me up, and she did. I got Morgan's contact info, and we started texting. During the conversation, I asked if she had any kids, and she said no. Perfect, because I don't date single moms. I've had issues with it in the past, and it's just something I'm not comfortable doing anymore. I told her this, and she said she understood. So we've gone on 5 dates now. Every single one has been a good time. We have a good vibe together and laugh a lot. Morgan asked me on the first date to Topgolf, and ever since we've been making mutual plans to meet. Well, after the 5th date and her staying over, I looked her up on Facebook to add her because I saw this going somewhere, and I was in shock. She had a kid on her profile. I thought maybe it was a nephew, but kept scrolling and found more pics. Definitely her kid. So I texted and asked if she had a kid. She said, "Why are you asking?" I told her about the Facebook. She then admitted to having a kid. She said she didn't like to bring him up until she knew she could trust a guy, and that she's at the point now where she trusts me. But I said that's BS because she knew my stance on dating single moms. And I felt like my time's been wasted and that I would be Venmo requesting the money for the tickets we bought together for an upcoming country concert. So we live in a city, and in total, the 5 dates probably cost me $400. I wasn't gonna Venmo request her for all the dates, as I make good money and I didn't feel the need to do that. But I did Venmo request her for one of the tickets and $50 for the dates, around $100 total. I guess Morgan told my friend's girlfriend because she texted me, saying that I'm being a jerk. My friend's defending me, saying that I shouldn't have been lied to, and paying $100 is nothing compared to the hundreds I spent on dates. And she still has the ticket. Am I the jerk? I would say as much as it sucks, you can't just ask for money back for the dates you went on. The girl is definitely a jerk for straight up lying to you about having a kid, but it's also kind of a jerk move to ask for money back from the dates you went on. The ticket, sure, ask for the ticket back and resell the ticket, but being like, well, I spent so and so much on our dates, so at least give me some amount of money back. That's just kind of weird. And our final story of the day is by DryMention8584. Am I the jerk for claiming that my sister-in-law is dressing inappropriately? My sister-in-law is my younger brother's fiancée and soon-to-be wife. Both her and my brother are 26. I met her when she was 18 when she first started dating him, and we had a pretty good relationship. Since then, she's been wearing lots of revealing outfits. At first, I wouldn't comment on it, but as my brother's relationship with her got serious, my parents and I believed we should tell my brother to tell her to dress more appropriately. Whenever we'd bring it up to my brother, he'd get mad and told us to mind our business. Once they got engaged, we believed that finally she'd be more serious and look out for her image, as she's supposed to be a wife soon enough and later a mother. We were wrong. She didn't only not start dressing more appropriately, but she got worse. Whenever we'd bring it up to my brother, he'd tell us we can't police what she wears, but he wouldn't understand how it's just disrespectful of her. To be honest, she didn't dress in revealing outfits in family gatherings like Xmas or Thanksgiving, but she'd wear those outfits on her birthday or my brother's birthday, or whenever they'd hang out alone or with friends. My brother's birthday was last week, and we were invited to his party. Before that, my parents and I agreed that if she's dressed inappropriately again, I'll call her out, because my brother is spineless and won't ever do that. As always, she was dressed inappropriately. She wore some skin-tight pants and a crop top that looked like a bra. I took her aside and told her that she should start behaving like a serious, engaged woman, because that's not a look a woman in a committed relationship should have, since it's disrespectful towards my brother, but also us. She cursed me out and then told my brother, who also cursed me out, and kicked me and our parents out of the party. Friends and relatives who were there partly agreed with me and said that she's dressing inappropriately, but that I also crossed the line and should keep my opinion to myself. My brother's friends, on the other hand, apparently all believe that I'm the jerk and that it's none of my business how sister-in-law dresses. Am I the jerk? I think OP is by far the jerk in this situation. How they dress is disrespectful to you and your parents? How is how your sister-in-law dresses relating to you in any way? Because she dresses how she wants to, she's somehow disgracing you, her sister-in-law? I don't think it works that way. Like everybody's saying, they heard your opinion, they told you they disagreed, they told you they don't want your opinion after that. If you're gonna keep going on like a broken record after that, when they've already told you they don't agree with your opinion, then yeah, you deserve to get kicked out. But with that being said, that's all the time we have for today. So of all these stories I've read today, which is your favorite and why? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you haven't yet, if you could like and subscribe, that would mean a lot to me. Whatever you do, whether it's liking, subscribing, turning notifications on, all of it helps grow this channel and I appreciate the heck out of it. So until next time, I'll see you all tomorrow with some more stories.